Joining us now is Nika, Chief Okpe, with stories trending around the world. The lady in what color is that?
That's
red.
The only man that calls me chief in the world.
You deserve a chief.
It's Friday. Happy Friday to you guys. I'm excited. It's Friday. We're missing Dr. Abati. Good morning,
Yes.
And Kay.
Hey, good to see you.
Good to see you, as always. Well, all right. Let's begin what's trending. Good morning to you, viewers. With reactions trailing the press conference held by Nigeria's former Vice President Atiku Abubakar in Abuja on Thursday over the case of President Bola Ahmed Tinubu's academic records. During the press conference, Atiku paid homage to the late Gani Fawehinmi, who had, in 1999, sued Tinubu for allegedly lying under oath that he attended Government College Ibadan and Chicago State University. Atiku stated that Fawehinmi can now rest in peace as the fight that he started over 23 years ago has finally come to fruition. Atiku also gave credence to David Hundeyin and other journalists for stepping in when other arms of government failed.
I wish to pay tribute to the late human rights activist, Chief Gani Fawehinmi, senior advocate of Nigeria, who inspired us on this path of discovery. Now he can truly rest in peace in the assurance that what he started about 23 years ago has come to fruition. Gani's vindication today gives credence to the saying that no matter how fast a lie runs, the truth will someday overtake it. From exposing the Watergate scandal and unraveling the dubious certificates of politicians, journalists have maintained eternal vigilance by bridging the gap and stepping in when other arms of government failed. It is for these reasons that commendation must be given to David Hundeyin, an independent journalist whose extraordinary work and those of many more young people like him has become a source of inspiration.
All right, let's take some reactions. This is from Bayo Ononuga. His caption reads, "Yet again, Atiku Abubakar beats his tattered drum of shame. The All Progressives Congress is unfazed by the press conference addressed by former Vice President and candidate of the People's Democratic Party, Atiku Abubakar, earlier today. The press conference lacked purpose and delivered nothing except for the pitiful regurgitation of lies, mindless distortion, and deliberate falsehood in his infantile obsession with the academic record of Bola Ahmed Tinubu, President and Commander-in-Chief of the Armed Forces of the Federal Republic of Nigeria. We believe Atiku should have known better than to demonstrate gross contempt of the highest court by making public comments on the matter that he has submitted to the court for adjudication. The major takeaway from his Yaradua Center show, especially at question time, was that Atiku harbors deep animosity towards Tinubu, whom he believes was responsible for his electoral woes in 2007, 2015, 2019, and this year. Well, Mr. Ononuga went further to provide details of the deposition by Caleb Westberg, the registered witness of the Chicago State University, some of which we have already discussed here. Let me take his 7th point. He made about 7. Ononuga wrote again, "There is also no part of Mr. Westberg's deposition where he said that the certificate President Bola Ahmed Tinubu presented to INEC for his election is fake or forged. All the insinuations and innuendos in this regard are pure mischief and should be disregarded. President Tinubu could not have forged a university degree he honorably earned because there is no advantage to derive from such and no incentive to do so." Well, Kalu Kalu, counsel to Atiku Abubakar during the press conference on Thursday, claimed that the findings from the deposition at the U.S. court showed that President Bola Ahmed Tinubu forged the certificates he presented to INEC. He also stated that there is a discrepancy in the name written on the National Youth Service Corps certificate submitted by President Bola Ahmed Tinubu to the Independent National Electoral Commission.
On
The certificate issued or released by Chicago State University to the lawyers of Alhaji Atiku Abubakar. These are the documents. One, that Bola Ahmed Tinubu forged the certificate he presented to INEC. That's one. Two, that the qualifying certificate from Southwest College to Chicago State University bears a female, indicating that that document does not belong to Bola Ahmed Tinubu. Three, the Chicago State University admission application form has a claim that Bola Ahmed Tinubu attended Government College, Lagos, and graduated in 1970, when indeed the school was established in 1974. The same document has it that the owner of that document is a black American, and the document Bola Ahmed Tinubu submitted to INEC, he denied having dual citizenship, which means it does not belong to him. Then the same document, oral deposition, says that the Bola A. Tinubu is Ahmed, but the NYSC certificate Bola Ahmed Tinubu submitted to INEC has Adekunle. I don't know where the Adekunle and the Ahmed emerged from.
All right, this lawyer's revelation, more revelation, caused a lot of reactions. You know now, social media is not going to rest when they hear that. You know what people did? They went to pull up Festus Keyam's tweet. Let me read his tweet there. He wrote, and this was in 2019, by the definition of school certificate or its equivalent in section 318 of the 1999 Constitution, you don't need a WAEC certificate to become president or governor. But if you present a forged WAEC or other certificate to INEC for any office, you will be disqualified. Well, in response to Keyamo, Daniel Boala wrote, all the factual and legal points that Festus Keyamo raised and argued about Tinubu's certificate forgery from High Court to Supreme Court are the points haunting Tinubu's legitimacy today. All the tweets that Festus Keyamo made in 2019 to defend Buhari's certificate are the tweets killing Tinubu's defenses today. Keyamo to Tinubu is what Maguire is to Man United. Didn't I tell you? Kokoro ton jeffo, inu efo lo wa. Yes, you can't play. You can't play with me. No, I had to go there, but that Daniel Boala's tweet was. But isn't it true, Ayo? I want to come to you on this one because I mean Daniel Boala really just hit the nail on the head there.
Yes.
Because the whole point is about the fact that whether Tinubu forged the certificate or not, but we know that the case is in court.
Yeah.
So there's no evidence until it's proven, because obviously all we have is a deposition.
Yes.
I mean, a transcript. And so it needs to be investigated like the lawyers have said.
Yeah.
Ayo.
Wow, so many things. A busy day yesterday. I don't even know where to start
Yes.
from. We've had, quite a detailed conversation, as you alluded to, when we were speaking about the story. But to Chief Bayo Ononuga's tweet, and Mr. Festus Keyamo's old tweet. By the way, they say he's been quite quiet. Maybe his ministry must be very tasking.
Oh, he's going to come with it too, don't worry.
Because we haven't heard a lot from him. The only thing we can see are his old tweets. He hasn't responded, and it is very unlike him.
Yes.
So I have to mention that.
Yeah.
Usually he's very quick to respond. But on the issue on ground, yesterday's press conference gave the Atiku camp an opportunity for the first time himself, that's Waziri Abubakar Atiku, to speak to these issues. And he had talked about the fact that he was doing it and as we've said a number of times, beyond the law, on issues of morality. We're talking about the seat of the president. It ought to be honorable. So for the sake of truth and because the Nigerian people deserve to know the truth, this has to be pursued till the very end. And in his own estimation, the very end is until the Supreme Court rules, right? Now, Mr. Festus Keyamo saying that his tweet about, a former tweet just demonstrates again to us that it depends on which side of the divide you're sitting on.
Absolutely.
That's what then makes your that makes what you tilt towards. He says that he has given us the definition clearly. And so except he wants to go against what he says he made a mistake or he didn't interpret the law properly, he has already answered the question for APC.
Yes.
Now, another thing is that I want to talk to the insinuations and innuendos that Chief Bayo Ononuga spoke about. And that's why it's clear to say there are insinuations as well from the other camp in terms of parties stating that, the certificate was gotten from third party. When there's nothing, absolutely nothing like that in the deposition.
Yes,
that has to be made
I showed
clear.
you guys. I actually did go to the Chicago State University.
Yes,
you
and
can
yesterday.
you can click on the link there and you can order your diploma online.
So just to mention that we need to
well.
debunk that because that news has a lot of people are quoting it. It's been going on and that they have taken it as the truth. It is it's not. It doesn't exist at all. So just to mention that in areas of insinuations and innuendos, they themselves must be careful to not give insinuations and innuendos around the facts of the matter and just present facts to the people. At the end of the day, like you said, Oji, the Supreme Court will rule. But what is important to Nigerians is that the truth has to be said.
Yes.
Irrespective of the outcome, the truth ought to be said.
Yes.
It is important. Let's call it yo-yoing. It's a distraction. It's not a distraction. This is critical matter.
Absolutely.
Whatever happens, it has international impact for Nigeria.
Yes.
It has impact on even our younger people. Who are examples? What do we see in terms of people whether having real certificates or not, who are in power?
Truly a subject of national importance. But I want to go back on that fact of going to Chicago State University to get your degree. I want to take a story before I come to you, Rufai. In the meantime, a short clip where President Bola Ahmed Tinubu addressed an elite audience at the Chatham House in London in December last year, in which he confirmed that Chicago State University provided him with an original copy of his certificate is making the rounds on social media. Let's take a look.
I've had a very good exposure in life. My record is consistent. And the school and the university, they question. They now convinced that they wasted their money and their time. Equally, it remains the same. Deloitte, Chicago State University, where I graduated, has attested to that. Now I can announce that I've received my original replacement degree certificate from them. The Deloitte trained me as an accounting firm. Mobile has attested to my record, a standing record. I got to the pinnacle of my career. And the private sector, who among them can brag about that?
All right, Rufai, that was last year in 2022. He says that he received his original degree certificate from Chicago State University.
Oji, it is sad at a time like this, I have to do my job as a journalist. When I'm a journalist, I stick to the truth. In fact-checking all what the president has said, they're all false. As we speak, Chicago State in that deposition said nothing of such. In fact, it was the replacement certificate they gave Enahoro Eba. It is Enahoro Eba that has that replacement certificate, not the president. That statement, false. Second statement, Deloitte. He said if you go and check Deloitte, Deloitte was subpoenaed by Enahoro Eba and they said they don't know anybody in the fashion of the president. The statement again, false. What's the other thing he said there as regards, I think it was just only those two claims. Everything was false, what he said in that. I'm sorry I have to do this, but I have to do my job as a journalist by fact-checking. It's not of the truth at all.
Okay, Rufai, I have to make it clear, though. We have to be sure Because at the end of the day, like I said earlier, the case has to be investigated. And, you know, this comment we're making, wait, let me just say, this comment we're making is a statement that was made by Westberg, who is the witness at the Chicago State University. So he just made those statements.
So very good.
And so we need to be factual in terms of comparing those and doing the investigation and making sure that he's been found guilty of forgery.
I understand and I appreciate what you said, but based on the evidence we have at hand, and I'll give you factual analysis. Enaro Eba subpoenaed Deloitte. Let me check for that. I think I have to read verbatim. September 2022 is a response to Leigh, Essenberg and Franklin Limited. Attention, Matthew J. Calls. That was the lawyer through which Enaro Eba subpoenaed. This is with Deloitte's logo. And it said Deloitte LLP, 30 Rockefeller Plaza, New York. He said, Dear Mr. Qualls, we released a subpoena dated 16th September 2022 seeking employment record for Bola Ahmed Tinubu, SSN 059 DOB. Please be advised that we have no record of Bola Ahmed Tinubu in our systems and we have no such employment records for them.
And this is Deloitte?
Yeah, this is Deloitte.
Okay.
Signed by Tish Negron, senior legal specialist. These were part of the documents in the deposition by Enaro Eba. So that's from the context at which I gave you facts
that you gave
for the
me
matter.
Those comments.
But in all of this, let's wait for the court, you know, to be able to rule as regards all of this. There's been many discrepancies across both sides. And I also want to say for the opt-in time, there was in no place in the deposition that a third party was mentioned as granting certificates in that deposition by CSU. We have to reiterate that because we have a right to inform our audience.
Absolutely.
And on this network, the facts lead. So that's why when I made a claim just now, I brought out the facts.
Good.
Second claim I made as regards CSU, I brought out the fact by saying it is with Enaro Eba, and it was also written clearly in the deposition.
Yeah, so I mean, in all of this, at the end of the day, Kayode, the Nigerian public want to know the truth, whether or not our president forged his certificate quickly, so we can take our final story.
Well, for me, I would end with what I started with, which is Nigerians, especially our young people, say my truth, your truth, they're different. But the bottom line is there is a truth that is consistent. There are truths that you can point to from those who are members of APC, including the one that we had on the show this morning, that they're saying the truth. Did he attend the university or not? Even the school confirmed that he attended, and that is the truth. And they can hold on to that and say, for that reason, nobody should raise any other issue. On the other hand, the other issue is the document. Was it emanating from the institution that is called CSU?
Well,
the CSU said it is not from them.
Not from them.
So whether you now want to call it fake or forged or fraudulent or any other name, that is going to be the court that makes the final decision on it, and that is somebody's truth. So we have to find which one is the absolute truth that is incontrovertible.
Right. All right. We don't have much time, but I also wanted to raise that point Atiku made earlier when he, praised Gani Fawehinmi. I thought that was such an important point that he made because obviously this case has been going on for years, and we're hoping that we're going to see the end of it sooner than later. Again, may his soul rest in peace. Gani Fawehinmi was a great addition to our Nigerian history. Well, all right. We'll take our final story. The federal government on Thursday inaugurated a 9-man independent investigative panel to investigate the death of greatness Olorunfemi. Olorunfemi was reportedly stabbed and thrown out of a moving vehicle on September 26 along the Maitama-Kubwa Highway. She was then rushed to the Maitama District Hospital in Abuja, but was denied entry according to an eyewitness in a viral video. The hospital requested a police report and denied her treatment.
Good evening, ladies and gentlemen. It's your brother Wes Robinson reporting for CNN News WhatsApp. This lady was just pushed down from a vehicle between Maitama Kubwa Express, the road going towards Use Bega. She was pushed down by all this one chance. And this is what we've been talking about. Please, let's be careful. She was pushed down from one chance vehicle. We are just in Maitama General Hospital. Unfortunately, we call one of the nurses we just met here. She said they cannot attend to her. They have their reason. This is what we've been talking about for the past few weeks, how our hospitals are dying on daily basis. Instead of them to quickly rush this woman and save her life, they are saying there are procedure and process, and they just lock their gates against us. This is what is happening here now.
Well, all right. This is such a sad incident. May greatness rest in peace. This is the story of Nigeria. FCTA had said, though, that they did bring her to the hospital. She was dead on arrival when they brought her to the hospital. But this young woman, she was just a victim of circumstance. She was in a car, and they stabbed her and pushed her away. But I think that the main issue here, which is what the panel should completely focus on, is the negligence at our hospitals. Even though they don't have a police report or whatever it is it okay that they left this young woman in the car for whatever amount of time that they did? Ayo.
Well, absolutely. No, this story has been, and I'm glad we're finally taking it
Yes, I've
today.
been trying to take it for a whole week now.
So the mandate secretary for the FCT on Health and Environment, Dr. Dolapo Fashawe, has instituted a nine-man committee to investigate the response of the hospital, whether or not, because there are claims that she was still alive for up to 20 minutes after she was brought into the hospital, but they refused to see her. Her life could have been saved, if the hospital had acted. There are many things around this. There's a security aspect. This one chance, this one chance incident whereby you enter a car and you find that they are not legitimate. That's one issue. So the rising rate of crime and insecurity. Number two is the fact of our healthcare system. I'm trying to pull up, there's a Gunshot Act of 2017, and the fact that hospitals are mandated to treat victims of harm or violence before they get a police report. So I don't understand what the excuse of the hospital will be, but what they are claiming is that she had passed on. But there are two sides to the story. I am hoping that the committee will do justice to this. And in the words of Dr. Fashawe, and I want to say this is not just for why we're investigating, it's to give closure to the family. It's to identify potential malpractice so that we can prevent it from happening in the future. It's to implement necessary measures to prevent similar occurrences. This is the reason why investigations are important, and not just to say, let's sweep it under the carpet. This is one death too many due to possible negligence, and one death too many as a result of one chance and insecurity. Absolutely. I'm so sorry we had to end What's Trending on such a sad note. Again, may greatness rest in perfect peace. Well, that's all I have for you on What's Trending today. I'll see you all next week.